What if I told you that your garden could build itself? Imagine lush, overflowing abundance, blooms spilling over fences, greenery filling every empty inch like nature's most vigorous takeover artists, all for almost zero effort. Sounds like a dream, right? You're done with the annual charade, that yearly pilgrimage to the nursery, dropping hard-earned cash on delicate little annuals that kick the bucket with the first frost. We're better than that. We're smarter. We demand free labor. We demand plants that pay us back. This isn't just gardening, it's an investment strategy. Because here's the secret. Some plants don't just grow, they colonize. They send out stealthy runners, underground rhizomes, aerial pips, or split themselves into relentless, unstoppable armies. They multiply. They spread. They refuse to be contained in the best possible way. One becomes 10, 10 becomes 50. It compounds like interest right before your eyes. And today, we're diving into 17 of these botanical behemoths. We'll talk about number 5, the one that makes seasoned gardeners either cheer or run for the hills because it will try to take over your entire homestead if you let it. And then there's number 15, quietly expanding its empire with a secret underground network while you're sipping your morning coffee. These aren't just plants, they're growth stocks for your garden. Want more of this garden for free wisdom? Hit that subscribe button. We've got endless money-saving, dirt-under-the-nails tips coming your way. All right, self-sufficient gardener, let's dig in. Here are 17 high-yield perennials that spread like crazy. Plant 1, daylilies, the floral factory. This isn't a shy, retiring wallflower, self-sufficient gardener. Oh no, the daylily is an elegant yet relentless plant contractor. It shows up, sets down roots, and starts expanding its territory with quiet, unstoppable determination. Don't mistake its cheerful blooms for weakness. This plant is all about growth and production. Daylilies don't just spread. They colonize through aggressive crown expansion and fibrous root division. Each established plant is a powerhouse, continually pushing out new plantlets directly from its base. These aren't delicate runners or sneaky rhizomes. We're talking about a steady outward surge of new crowns, each ready to form its own dense clump. It's mechanical efficiency at its finest, creating a solid, impenetrable mass that simply outcompetes its neighbors. Their arching, blade-like foliage forms a verdant foundation, then explodes with a daily parade of trumpet-shaped flowers. Every hue imaginable, from creamy yellows to deep velvety reds, unfurls anew each morning, then bows out gracefully by evening. But don't mourn, a fresh wave awaits. This relentless bloom cycle is a pollinator magnet, swarming with happy bees and fluttering butterflies all summer long. Plus, it's often a pass for deer, a true win in the homestead garden. Now, for the numbers, because this is where the daylily truly shines as an investment. You plant one small crown, and within a season or two, that one becomes 3. Those 3 become 9 by the following year, and before you know it, you've got a dense, blooming hedge. We're talking hundreds of new plants from a single initial purchase. That's free labor, self-sufficient gardener paying you back in spades. To manage this abundant generosity and ensure continuous, vigorous growth, you'll need to get your hands dirty. Every 3 to 5 years, treat your daylily clumps like a ripe apple ready for picking. Dig them up. Yes, all of them. Don't be gentle. Use a spade or even a sharp knife to ruthlessly divide the dense crowns into smaller sections, each with its own root system. Plant these new plants wherever you need them, trade them with neighbors, or pot them up for the local plant sale. Failure to divide means a decrease in bloom production as they become too crowded. Think of it as your garden's most reliable, self-replicating flower delivery service, constantly expanding its fleet and offering an endless supply of beauty and bounty. Plant 2, Black-Eyed Susan, Rudbeckia. The self-sowing sensation. Don't let its cheerful face fool you, self-sufficient gardener. Black-Eyed Susan isn't just pretty. It's a botanical opportunist. It looks innocent, but it's a relentless ground cover contractor, always looking for new territory to claim. This plant's secret weapon? Prolific self-seeding. Each spent flower isn't just fading away, it's a seed factory, meticulously engineering hundreds of tiny, viable future plants. The wind acts as its personal dispersal agent, scattering these microscopic promises of gold far and wide. They germinate with stubborn enthusiasm, filling gaps you didn't even know you had. Those iconic bright yellow gold petals with their deep chocolate eyes, pure garden gold. They erupt in a riot of color from midsummer straight into fall, feeding a buzzing, fluttering army. Pollinator paradise. Bees hum, butterflies dance, and come autumn, hungry goldfinches descend like tiny feathered investors feasting on the seed heads. Bonus: deer generally find its rough, hairy leaves unappetizing. Excellent for erosion control on sunny slopes. Your initial investment in one black-eyed Susan? It compounds like crazy. One plant erupts into a spectacular display. Hundreds of seeds drop. By next spring, you don't just have one. You have a dozen, then 50, then a glorious golden tide flowing across your landscape. Free labor, free beauty. Feeling overwhelmed by the sheer generosity? Don't panic. To rein in its ambition, simply deadhead spent blooms before they set seed. Or, for a truly lush, free-range meadow effect, let it do its thing. If clumps get too dense, a simple lift and division every few years in spring or fall keeps them vigorous and offers even more free plants for new areas. Think of Black-Eyed Susan as your tireless, solar-powered gold mine, constantly depositing new gleaming assets right where you need them most. Plant 3, coneflowers, Echinacea, the prairie powerhouse. This plant isn't flashy, but it's pure garden gold for the self-sufficient gardener. It's the reliable workhorse, the quiet champion that just keeps giving. A humble beauty that will steadily, relentlessly claim its territory in your landscape, paying you back in spades. Its secret? A two-pronged attack. First, it's a master of crown expansion. The central root system steadily broadens, producing an ever-increasing number of new rosettes or pips around the original plant. Each year, that single plant becomes a thriving, multi-stemmed colony, spreading its underground dominion. Second, it's a prolific self-seeder. Those iconic spiky cones are veritable seed factories, dropping thousands of tiny powerhouses right at the base, ready to sprout with the next rain. Talk about mechanical efficiency. From its sturdy, lance-shaped leaves emerge those unmistakable daisy-like blooms, often in shades of purple, but now available in a rainbow. Each flower is a buzzing hive of activity, drawing in a pollinator swarm of bees, butterflies, and other beneficial insects. Goldfinches will strip the cones clean in fall, providing both entertainment and a natural seed dispersal service. It's a living ecosystem in one plant, offering beauty, food, and resilience. Here's the math. Self-sufficient gardener. One healthy plant, after a few years, can easily be divided into 5. Each of those 5 then rapidly grows, ready to be divided again, multiplying your garden's assets exponentially. Your initial investment pays dividends for decades. Now, a plant this generous needs strategic management. To keep it thriving and prevent overcrowding, plan on dividing its crown every 3 to 4 years. Dig up the whole clump in early spring or fall, discard the old woody center, and replant the vigorous outer sections. For population control from self-seeding, simply deadhead some spent blooms before they go to seed, or pull unwanted volunteers in spring. Think of it as your garden's free workforce, constantly expanding its ranks, feeding the local wildlife, and boosting your botanical net worth with zero effort. Plant 4, Columbine, Aquilegia, the aerial seed bomber. This isn't your shy wallflower, self-sufficient gardener. Columbine is a master of charming infiltration. It's elegant, yes, but relentlessly strategic. It whispers, just one little spot. Then, poof, it's everywhere. Its secret weapon? Prolific self-seeding. After those intricate spurred blooms fade, they ripen into capsules. These capsules then lob their tiny black pips with astonishing accuracy across your garden beds. The wind becomes its willing accomplice. Gravity does the rest. It's a natural-born dispersal expert, working tirelessly, absolutely free of charge. Imagine delicate fern-like foliage providing a soft green carpet. Then, like tiny jewel-toned acrobats, the uniquely spurred flowers unfurl. Reds, purples, yellows, whites, a kaleidoscope of airborne beauty. Hummingbirds swarm them. Long-tongued bees consider them a five-star buffet. Deer, however, largely give them a wide berth. That's free pest control right there. One parent plant drops hundreds of seeds. One becomes 5. 5 become 20. 20 become 50, dotting your landscape with unexpected floral treasures. This is generational wealth, self-sufficient gardener without lifting a finger. Don't want a full-blown Columbine revolution? Easy. Deadhead spent flowers before the seeds ripen and drop. Or let them sow and then simply pluck the unwanted seedlings. They're shallow-rooted and polite about being removed. Strategic thinning is your friend here. It's not about stopping them. It's about directing their free labor. Think of it as the ultimate set-it-and-forget-it investment. A graceful beauty that pays dividends in endless free-range flowers. Plant 5. Mint. The creeping commando. This isn't your polite garden guest, self-sufficient gardener. Oh no, mint is an elegant but utterly relentless takeover artist. It has a charming face, a refreshing scent, and an insatiable desire to own real estate. It's the plant equivalent of that one friend who crashes on your couch and then decides to remodel your kitchen. Its secret weapon? Rhizomes. These aren't just roots, they're subterranean pipelines, thick underground stems that snake through the soil with astonishing speed and mechanical efficiency. From these stealthy underground tendrils, new shoots burst forth, establishing entire colonies far from the mother plant. One underground journey, and boom! A new mint patch. It's a masterclass in decentralized expansion. The foliage is a textural delight, often crinkled or fuzzy, in shades from bright green to deep purple-veined varieties. And those small, often understated flowers? They are a buzzing beacon. Prepare for a pollinator swarm. Bees, butterflies, and all manner of beneficial insects will descend, feasting on the nectar. Plus, that intense aroma, a natural deer deterrent. Double win for your homestead. Here's the math. Plant one small sprig, and within a season, that one sprig becomes a vibrant patch. Let it go unchecked, and that patch won't just double. It will easily become 20 times its original size, reaching out, colonizing, and claiming every available inch. This isn't just growth. It's exponential, self-funding abundance. It compounds like interest, paying you back in flavor and free labor. So how do you manage such a prolific investor? Strategic containment is key. Your best bet, self-sufficient gardener, is to plant mint in pots. But not just any pot. Sink those containers into the ground, ensuring the rim is at least an inch or two above soil level. This creates a physical barrier against its determined rhizomes. Alternatively, create dedicated edged beds with deep, impenetrable root barriers. Harvest frequently and aggressively. Every snip of those aromatic leaves helps to curb its territorial ambitions. Think of it as the plant that pays you in free culinary delight and medicinal value, but only if you sign a strict prenuptial agreement on boundaries. Plant 6. Bearded Iris. The underground empire builder. Don't let those elegant ruffles fool you, self-sufficient gardener. The bearded iris isn't just a pretty face. It's a determined land baron. It demands respect and space, turning a modest plot into a blooming kingdom with surprising speed. This plant is less a guest and more a strategic colonizer. Its secret weapon? Thick, fleshy rhizomes. These aren't your average roots. They're underground stems, purpose-built for spreading. These powerhouses creep horizontally just beneath the soil surface, acting like stealth contractors. Each node on that rhizome is a potential new plant, pushing up sword-like fans of foliage and Eventually, those magnificent blooms. This is mechanical efficiency at its finest. One rhizome becomes a blueprint for an entire colony. Picture those stately, upright leaves providing year-round architectural interest, a green sentinel against the garden chaos. Then comes the main event, the show-stopping, often fragrant blooms in every color imaginable. These aren't just for human admiration either. Early spring bees, waking from their winter slumber, flock to these vibrant landing pads, making your garden a vital pit stop. Plus, deer usually give them a wide berth, leaving your investment untouched. You start with a single fan, a lone warrior. Within a year or two, that one becomes 5. Those 5 become 20 within a few seasons, each new plant a ready-made treasure. This plant doesn't just grow. It compounds like interest in a high-yield savings account, paying you back in spectacular blooms and an ever-expanding inventory. Here's the deal. Self-sufficient gardener, this powerhouse needs reining in. Every 3 to 5 years, after their glorious spring show, late summer is prime time, you'll need to get your hands dirty. Dig up those congested clumps. You'll see the older, woody rhizomes in the center. Discard those. Break off the newer, plump, healthy rhizomes from the outer edges. Trim their leaves into neat fans and replant them shallowly, leaving a bit of that sturdy rhizome exposed to the sun. This isn't just maintenance. It's smart asset management. Think of it as the ultimate dividend-paying stock for your homestead, continually reinvesting its profits into more beauty, more vibrancy, and more bartering power. Free plants, anyone? Plant 7. Sedum. Stone crop. The unkillable carpet layer. This isn't just a plant. It's a living, breathing, low-maintenance workhorse. It doesn't scream for attention. It just is. Quietly, relentlessly, it claims its territory, transforming barren spots into verdant tapestries. Sedum isn't subtle. It's a master of vegetative propagation. Many varieties spread by aggressively rooting stems that creep along the soil surface, sending down tiny, adventitious roots at every node. Other types expand through dense crown division, pushing out new rosettes from the base. Snap off a piece? No problem. Each segment is a potential new plant, ready to root where it lands. It's biological guerrilla warfare, self-propagating with ruthless efficiency. Those fleshy, succulent leaves come in a dazzling array of greens, blues, reds, and even purples. Then, in late summer or fall, a spectacular floral display erupts. A pollinator party, bees buzz, butterflies swarm. It's a literal gold mine for nectar-seeking insects. And for you, the self-sufficient gardener, it scoffs at drought. It laughs at deer. It's your ultimate erosion control, holding precious soil in place. This isn't an investment that just doubles. It compounds like a high-yield annuity. One small plant, given a season or two, becomes 5. Those 5 quickly morph into 20, then 50, then a living green quilt across your toughest spots. It's free ground cover. It's free nursery stock. Think of it as a friendly but firm contractor. If it oversteps its bounds, simply snip off a piece. No fuss, no drama. Or, for a more strategic move, dig up a clump, pull it apart into several smaller sections, each with roots, and replant them wherever you need more of its magic. It practically begs to be divided, providing endless new plants for bare patches or to share with gardening comrades. Think of it as your personal landscape architect, perpetually replicating itself, asking for nothing but a patch of sun and a bit of neglect to turn your toughest spots into triumphs. Plant 8, Catmint Nepeta, the purple haze multiplier. This isn't just a pretty face. Catmint is an elegant but relentless spreader. It's the resilient contractor that moves in, cleans up the neighborhood, and then subtly expands its territory with unwavering determination. Deer ignore it, bees adore it. You, self-sufficient gardener, will benefit from its tireless work. Its secret? A dual-pronged assault. First, the plant is a master of crown expansion, steadily growing into ever larger, denser mounds. But the real magic, the true multiplication engine, lies in its prolific self-seeding. Each spent flower spike isn't just fading away. It's dropping hundreds of tiny future catmint soldiers, ready to germinate at the slightest invitation of bare soil. It's an annual recruitment drive, funded by nature. From late spring well into fall, these tough plants produce ethereal, lavender-blue flower spikes above fragrant, silvery green foliage. It's a continuous buzzing banquet for pollinators. Honeybees, bumblebees, and butterflies descend in a joyful, vibrant swarm. It also offers exceptional deer and rabbit resistance, thanks to its aromatic leaves. And for those tricky, sun-drenched spots, this plant is a drought-tolerant, erosion-controlling champion. Forget your paltry investments. One catmint plant, left to its own devices, becomes a dense, flourishing colony. That colony then seeds out, turning one into a dozen, then 100, all for zero input from your wallet. That's exponential growth, self-sufficient gardener, compounding like the best interest rate you'll ever find. Don't misunderstand. Catmint is generous, not invasive. To manage its bounty, practice strategic deadheading. Snip off those spent flower spikes before they mature and drop their seeds. A hard chop back after the first major flush encourages rebloom and keeps things tidy. If your clumps become too vast, or you simply want free new plants, dig and divide in early spring or fall. Just plunge a sharp spade through the crown, separating sections with healthy roots. Instant new plants. Instant savings. Think of it as your garden's tireless, purple-flowered ground crew, working overtime to fill every sunny void with beauty and pollinator snacks.
Plant 9. Daffodils, the underground gold miner. Oh, my self-sufficient gardener, prepare for an early spring gold rush. Daffodils might seem demure, a gentle herald of spring, but don't let that fool you. They are elegant, yes, but also utterly relentless. These cheerful beauties are silent strategists, patiently building an empire right beneath your feet, demanding nothing but a little dirt and sunshine. They're a true set-it-and-forget-it investment. How do they do it? No sneaky runners or explosive seeds here. Daffodils multiply with mechanical precision through bulb offsets. Each mature mother bulb, tucked away in its underground vault, is a reproductive powerhouse. It continuously develops smaller, genetically identical daughter bulbs, or pips, right at its base. These pips fatten up, drawing energy from the mother until they're ready to produce their own foliage and flowers. It's an efficient subterranean cloning operation, happening out of sight but never out of mind. Their bright yellow, white, or bicolored trumpets are pure joy, a beacon after winter's gray. While not the biggest pollinator magnet, early emerging bees will certainly appreciate their nectar. And here's the kicker for your homestead. Deer and rodents won't touch them. Their toxicity makes them the ultimate stay-away sign for garden pests, protecting your precious early blooms. The math of this abundance is simple. 1 becomes 3, 3 becomes 9, 9 becomes a 27-bulb-strong colony. Left undisturbed, a single daffodil bulb can effortlessly compound into a dense clump of dozens in just a few years. That's pure, unadulterated flower power growing on your property for free. Now, left entirely unchecked, these underground contractors will eventually get too cozy, impacting flower production. So when the spring show starts to dwindle, usually after 4 to 6 years, that's your cue. Once the foliage has completely yellowed and died back, and only then, as that's when the bulbs are storing energy for next year, carefully dig up those crowded clusters. Gently separate the mature bulbs from their burgeoning offspring. Replant them immediately or store them in a cool, dry place until fall, spacing them out to give them room to start their multiplying magic all over again. Think of it as your personal, ever-expanding underground gold reserve, paying dividends of cheerful blooms year after year without a single trip to the nursery.
Plant 10. Dahlias, the tuber tycoon. Ah, dahlias. They might look like the epitome of floral elegance, all ruffled petals and sophisticated hues. But make no mistake, self-sufficient gardener. Below the surface, this beauty is a ruthless capitalist.
She's not just growing flowers, she's printing money underground. Her secret? It's all in the glorious tuberous roots. Each season, from a single planted tuber, this plant gets busy creating an entire network of new, fleshy root structures right at the base of her stem. Think of it as a subterranean factory churning out future plants. Each one of these eyes on a tuber section is a future showstopper, a biological promissory note. This isn't just spreading, it's multiplicative asset accumulation on a grand scale. From dainty pompons to dinner plate giants, dahlias explode in a riot of color, form, and texture. Your summer garden will be a kaleidoscope, a veritable pollinator rave party for bees, butterflies, and hummingbirds. And for you? Endless bouquets. Pure, unadulterated cut flower luxury, all from an initial small investment. They demand attention, they command the stage, and they deliver beauty by the bucket load. Here's where the numbers get truly exciting, self-sufficient gardener. Plant one healthy dahlia tuber, and by the end of the season, if you've given it the good life, you're looking at 5, sometimes 10, new tubers. 1 becomes 5. 5 becomes 25. 25 becomes a whole field of floral opulence, a living floral bank account. That's not just growth, that's compound interest you can touch. This underground wealth needs managing. When the first hard frost hits and blackens the foliage, it's time to excavate your treasure. Carefully lift the clump. Clean off the soil. Let them cure for a few days, then strategically divide those tuberous roots, ensuring each section has an eye or two for next year's growth. Store them cool, dark, and just slightly humid over winter. Don't just leave them to their own devices in the ground in cold climates. They'll turn to mush. This is active wealth management. Think of the dahlia as your personal, underground wealth generator. She works tirelessly, producing beauty and future plants, while you reap the bountiful, colorful dividends.
All right, self-sufficient gardeners, if you're finding this valuable, if you're already plotting how to turn one plant into 50 without spending another dime at the nursery, then do yourself a favor and smash that like button right now. A truly abundant garden doesn't mean emptying your wallet. It means smart investments and free labor. So subscribe to Homestead Roots, click that bell, and join a community that truly believes in working smarter, not harder. You won't want to miss a beat. Now let's keep going, because the next 10 are even more aggressive.
All right, self-sufficient gardener, lean in. Because sometimes, the biggest financial returns come from the humblest of investments. Plant 11, Prunella vulgaris, self-heal, the herbal carpet layer. Don't let its humble stature fool you. This isn't just some quaint little wildflower. It's a ground cover contractor with an iron will. Elegant in its simplicity but relentlessly efficient, Self-Heal is a plant that works quietly in the background, transforming bare earth into a verdant, living tapestry. It's the sleeper agent of your perennial garden, always on duty. Its secret? A double-barreled approach to population control. First, it's a stolen maestro. Picture this: long, creeping stems, like green cables, stretching out from the mother plant. At every single node along these stolons, a new plant decides to drop anchor, rooting down and sending up its own cluster of leaves and flowers. It's like a botanical assembly line, churning out new recruits by the minute. But Prunella isn't content with just surface-level expansion. It's also a prolific self-seeder. Those charming purple flower spikes mature into seed heads that generously sprinkle their offspring across your land. That's right, it plants its own future, without a single whisper of complaint. From spring to fall, its dark green, oval leaves form a dense, weed-suppressing mat. Then come the show-stopping, hooded purple flowers, packed into dense, thimble-like spikes. These aren't just for show, oh no. They are a pollinator beacon, attracting a joyful swarm of native bees, butterflies, and other beneficial insects to your homestead. Plus, its historic medicinal properties mean you're not just growing ground cover, you're growing a botanical first aid kit. Here's the math: self-sufficient gardener. One small prunella patch becomes 5 within a season, Those 5 become 25 the next. Before you know it, you've got acres of living, breathing ground cover, suppressing weeds and building soil, all for the price of a single starter plant. That's not just growth, that's compound interest in botanical form. Now, this ambitious little plant needs a bit of management, or it will simply own the place. It's not malicious, just highly motivated. A sharp hoe or even a robust weeding session around its edges is usually all it takes to keep it within its designated boundaries. For larger areas, a simple pass with a lawnmower will knock back unwanted spread without harming the established patch. You can easily divide clumps by simply digging them up and relocating them to new bare spots. Instant new ground cover, free of charge. Think of it as your land's personal medic and low-cost ground crew, always on call, always expanding its services. Plant 12, Lily of the Valley, the scented colonizer. Don't let its dainty, demure appearance fool you, self-sufficient gardener. This is no shrinking violet. Lily of the Valley is an elegant assassin, a velvet glove around an iron fist. It doesn't just grow, it claims territory. With an intoxicating perfume that lures you into a false sense of security, this plant is a master of passive aggression in the garden. Its secret weapon? A subterranean army of robust, creeping rhizomes. These aren't just polite roots, they are underground engineers, relentlessly tunneling through your soil, sending up new pips or shoots with military precision. One moment, you have a small patch. The next, its dense, interwoven root network is silently expanding, laying down markers for future fragrant outposts. It's a botanical land grab, executed with cunning efficiency. In spring, those iconic bell-shaped white flowers emerge, dripping with a fragrance that can perfume an entire yard. Below them, broad, glossy green leaves create a dense, verdant carpet, smothering weeds before they even think about surfacing. Deer? They turn their noses up. Rabbits? They'd rather nibble on almost anything else. This plant is a shade garden's dream, providing unparalleled beauty and erosion control where other plants fear to tread. And while it doesn't host a pollinator party, its beauty and fragrance are pure sensory luxury. You plant one patch. By next season, its underground mechanics have multiplied that single investment into 5. Give it a couple more years, and those 5 have become 25. 25 becomes 100. It's not just growing, it's compounding its value year after year, providing you with an endless supply of fragrant ground cover or divisions to trade. This plant delivers free labor at an exponential rate. Now, a plant this ambitious needs a clear contract. If left unchecked, it will own the neighborhood. To keep its aspirations in check, install a deep root barrier. Think buried plastic edging or metal flashing around its designated territory. Or embrace the division. Every few years, grab a shovel and lift chunks of its rhizome network. Dig deep. Separate the pips, pot them up, share them. This is how you manage a high-yield asset. Strategically harvest its abundance. Think of it as the ultimate self-replicating ground cover, a fragrant green factory that pays you back in beauty, resilience, and endless divisions, all while demanding nothing more than a little space to conquer. Plant 13, Lamium, dead nettle, the undercover conqueror. Don't let its delicate appearance fool you, self-sufficient gardener. Lamium is the elegant but relentless ground cover you didn't know you needed. It's not a flashy sprinter, it's a marathoner, slowly but surely claiming every inch of available real estate. A silent operator, it expands its empire without drawing too much attention. This unassuming champion works its magic through a network of stolons. These are horizontal stems creeping along the soil surface, sending down roots at every node they touch. Each rooted node becomes a new plant, a new outpost in its quiet conquest. It's biological engineering at its finest, an auto-propagation system perpetually expanding its territory with zero effort from you. Its foliage is a spectacle, often variegated with shimmering silver against deep green. It brightens the darkest corners. Tiny, hooded blossoms, think purple, pink, or white,
emerge in spring and often persist. These nectar-rich flowers are an open invitation. Expect a pollinator swarm, busy bees, flitting butterflies, all drawn to this humble powerhouse. Plus, deer? They walk right past. Erosion control? It's literally holding your soil together. Here's the payoff, the financial leverage of nature. One small plant you tuck into a shady spot. Give it a season. That one becomes 5. Those 5 become 25, all without a single penny leaving your pocket. It's exponential interest, paid out in living ground cover. Yes, it's a giver, but even the most generous contractors need a project manager. To keep the undercover conqueror in check, simply reach down and pull. Its shallow root system makes it incredibly easy to manage. Snip off rooted sections, and instantly you have a new plant for another area, another investment. Or create a defined border, a no-fly zone, if you will, to guide its expansion. It will respect the boundaries, mostly. Think of it as the ultimate set-it-and-forget-it ground cover. A living, breathing, self-propelling carpet that rolls out across your landscape, demanding nothing but providing endless returns. Plant 14, periwinkle, Vinca minor, the creeping conqueror. Oh, self-sufficient gardener, meet periwinkle, the plant that arrived to do a job and then just decided to stay. It's not a takeover artist in the brute force sense. Think of it more as an elegant, relentless ground cover contractor. It operates with quiet determination, unfurling glossy green banners across your landscape, demanding little and giving back so much more. Its secret weapon? Stolons. Not exactly polite, these are above-ground stems that creep along the soil, sending down roots at every node they touch. Each rooted node becomes a new plant, a new anchor, a new front in its ever-expanding green empire. This isn't just spreading, it's a meticulously engineered colonization, a network of interwoven roots and stems locking down every inch of available space with ruthless efficiency. This botanical marvel forms a dense, evergreen carpet of deep green oval leaves. Then, in early spring, as if to announce its triumph, it erupts with charming star-shaped flowers, usually of vibrant periwinkle blue, though white and purple varieties exist. These blossoms are a welcome early-season feast, attracting a steady hum of eager bees and early butterflies to your homestead. It's also a champion for erosion control, locking down slopes with its intricate root system, and most deer find it distinctly unappetizing. You plant one small pot, and before you know it, that one becomes 5, 5 becomes 25, and 25 becomes a lush, living tapestry across hundreds of square feet. Consider that an investment, my friend. Free labor, perpetually multiplying, covering bare earth, without asking for a single paycheck. Now, a plant this good at its job does need some oversight. To keep this emerald tied exactly where you want it, simply use a sharp spade or garden shears to sever the pioneering stolons at your desired boundary. You can dig up the rooted sections, they lift easily, and gift them to a neighbor, or replant them where you need more free ground cover. Containment is simple surgery, not a battle. Think of it as the ultimate green infrastructure, silently upgrading your landscape while you focus on the next big harvest. Plant 15 hostas, the shade sultan. Don't let their serene demeanor fool you, self-sufficient gardener. Hostas are the epitome of elegant but relentless expansion. They patiently bide their time, then boom, another leafy empire takes root. These plants are the quiet, unassuming takeover artists of the shaded garden. These aren't your typical runaway rhizome contractors. Hostas are all about crown expansion. Each year, the existing plant pushes out new pips or eyes from its central crown. These aren't self-seeding rebels, they're organized, strategic offshoots, each an identical clone pushing outwards. This mechanical efficiency allows a single plant to become a dense, impenetrable mound of foliage, dominating its allocated territory with quiet determination. Their leaves are the main show, from tiny blue-grays to colossal variegated beauties, smooth to heavily textured. Come summer, delicate spires of lavender or white bell-shaped flowers emerge, drawing in a diligent pollinator swarm of bees and even hummingbirds. They are the ultimate solution for those tricky shady spots where nothing else dares to tread. This is where the math makes your wallet happy, self-sufficient gardener. One humble hosta planted in fertile shade becomes 5 robust plants within a few seasons. Those 5, left to their own devices, will soon become 25, each ready to fill a new corner of your landscape. It's a botanical investment that pays dividends in lush, effortless greenery. Because they are such reliable performers, you might think they're hands-off. Not entirely. To keep them from becoming a solid, unmanageable mass, you'll want to intervene. Every few years, in early spring as new growth emerges or in the fall after they die back, dig up that mighty clump. Take a sharp spade or even a saw for the really big ones and hack it into smaller sections, ensuring each division has a few eyes or growth points. Replant your new divisions or share your bounty. Think of it as your shade garden's quiet, green stock market. You invest once, and it compounds like interest, delivering free, gorgeous ground cover year after year. Plant 16, Japanese anemone, the late-season empire builder. Don't let those delicate, dancing petals fool you, self-sufficient gardener. Japanese anemone is an elegant but utterly relentless contractor in your late-season garden. It's not just a pretty face. It's an empire builder, plain and simple. This beauty operates with cunning subterranean strategy. Its secret weapon? A vast, branching network of rhizomes, thick, creeping underground stems that snake out from the parent plant. Each rhizome sends up new shoots, creating independent, flourishing colonies. It's a masterclass in underground expansion, a true horticultural insurgency. Tall, wiry stems emerge from handsome, lobed green foliage, culminating in an explosion of white, pink, or rosy purple blooms that flutter in the autumn breeze. These aren't just pretty faces. They are late-season life rafts for pollinators. Bees, butterflies. They swarm these flowers, desperate for that last drop of nectar before winter sets in. Deer, thankfully, find them less palatable, making them an excellent investment for areas prone to browsing. You plant one specimen, thinking it's a polite border inhabitant. Give it a few seasons, and that single investment becomes a robust patch of 10, then 20, then a sprawling colony. It compounds like interest, but with blossoms instead of dollars. Now, a plant this ambitious needs a clear contract. To manage your anemone empire, you'll need a shovel and a strong will. Digging out the rhizomes is key. Don't just pull, excavate. Every little piece left behind can sprout anew, so be thorough. For ultimate containment, consider planting them with a physical barrier, a bottomless pot or root barrier sunk deep into the soil. Or use its spread to your advantage, letting it naturalize in wilder areas where you want a magnificent, low-maintenance display. Think of Japanese anemone as the ultimate self-funded, self-replicating flower brigade. It builds its own forces, covers its own territory, and asks for nothing but a little space to conquer. A true work smarter, not harder marvel for the astute, self-sufficient gardener. Plant 17, chameleon plant, the underground networker. This vibrant beauty isn't just a plant, it's a charming rogue. Elegant to behold with its riot of color, it's also a relentlessly persistent, full-scale takeover artist, a true sleeper agent for your ground cover needs. It doesn't just spread, it colonizes. Its secret weapon, self-sufficient gardener? Rhizomes. These aren't delicate roots, they are underground stems, thick and tenacious, creeping just beneath the soil surface. They act like an underground railway system, constantly pushing out new shoots, establishing new stations of vibrant foliage. Each new node is a potential new plant, ready to launch its own colorful assault. It orchestrates a full-scale takeover from below, a mechanical marvel of self-replication. Oh, the visual feast! Its heart-shaped leaves explode with a riot of crimson, gold, lime green, and deep burgundy, shifting with the light, a living kaleidoscope. While its small white flowers are rather unassuming, its true glory lies in its vibrant foliage, forming a dense living tapestry. This dynamic carpet isn't just pretty, it's a champion of erosion control, holding soil hostage on slopes and along banks. And good news for the local deer population. They generally give it a wide berth, finding its scent unappealing. Plant one small specimen, and before you know it, that one becomes 5. Give it a season, and those 5 become 25. 2 seasons, you're looking at 100. It compounds like interest in a high-yield account, paying you back in acres of living ground cover, absolutely free. Now for some honest gardening advice. This plant is not for the faint of heart, self-sufficient gardener. It's a beauty, yes, but it demands respect and boundaries. To enjoy its splendor without surrendering your entire homestead, implement root barriers immediately upon planting. We're talking sturdy plastic or metal, sunk at least 12 inches deep. Or contain it ruthlessly in pots or raised beds with solid bottoms. Regular division is non-negotiable. Dig up and prune back those assertive rhizomes every spring. Share the surplus with fellow adventurous gardeners, or better yet, compost it. Think of it as your garden's most flamboyant, self-replicating carpet layer. It lays down a stunning living rug, but if you don't lay down the rules first, that rug will eventually cover the entire house.
All right, there you have it. 17 absolute powerhouses ready to build you an empire of abundance. We've seen the silent assassins with their underground rhizomes, the quick-spreading runners claiming new territory, the prolific seed droppers, and the quiet dividers multiplying their worth while you're off sipping coffee. Pure botanical magic, isn't it? See? You don't need deep pockets to build a lush, abundant homestead. You just need the right plants, the ones that are willing to work for you, the ones that pay you back in spades. A little patience, and your garden becomes an investment that just keeps on compounding. Now, I genuinely love hearing what's growing in your garden. Tell me, which of these magnificent multipliers are you already letting run wild? Or perhaps you've got another contender for the Spread Like Crazy Hall of Fame? Let me know in the comments below. If you loved this deep dive into plant multiplication, and who wouldn't, hit that subscribe button. Join our growing community of gardeners who understand that working smarter, not harder, is the real secret. We're all about helping you depend on your land instead of the store. Keep those hands dirty and your pantry full. See you in the next one.